Pag wala kang masabihan ng problema mo, your trusty journal will always be there. Kaya naman, I will be choosing from my team here today kung sino yung magbo-burn ng journals ko once I die because no one can see those journals. Hello and welcome back to Joyce Pring TV. What's up, you guys? We are back with a new video today. It's focusing on adulting journals. So, if you guys didn't know yet, I recently released my own journal, which I wrote and created, and I'm really passionate about this. If you listen to the podcast, you probably have heard me talk about journaling so many times, and that's because there's so much research and, of course, personal experience also that talks about how important journaling is. So to give you a little bit of a background, when I was around mga 10 or 11 years old, yung dad ko actually told me to start writing journals. And I was very young then, and sabi niya sa akin, alam mo, ang dami mong pinagdadaanan, ang dami mong mga gustong mangyari, ang dami mga processes in life, and he told me to start writing things down. And I remember starkly what he told me that day. He said na, write down about your heartbreaks, yung mga maliliit na bagay na kinakainisan mo, yung mga maliliit na bagay na sinaselebrate mo, na enjoy mo, and look back at that journal years down the road. You'd be surprised that the things that you were worried about, the things that you were hurting because of, all of those things will seem so little in the amount of changes and happenings in your life that you will be going through. And true enough, that's exactly what I got. Every time I opened my old journals, I would always feel like I have a time capsule of some sort, talking about even the most minute things. And recently also in my therapy sessions, my counselor was telling me something very important. She said that writing down your emotions and the things that you've gone through actually helps in your process of healing. And here on JPTV, in the podcast, we always talk about the importance of processing your emotions. And sometimes for some of us, it's hard to process your emotions when you're just thinking about it kasi nakakapagod to think about it, right? So you do need to start really writing it down and releasing it to the world. Pag wala kang masabihan ng problema mo, your trusty journal will always be there. Kaya naman, I will be choosing from my team here today kung sino yung magbo-burn ng journals ko once I die because no one can see those journals. They cannot see all the things that I've written down there because it's very personal. But we are going to be doing a journal with me here today, and we're going to be using the adulting journal that I've created. If you haven't purchased this yet, guys, you are missing out. So from the forward, you will see like a message that I've written there and an actual photo of me graduating from adulting. And of course, how to use this journal. And then we have the 5 people you need in your life. So, the 5 people you need in your life is an episode that we did on the podcast with Erin Ataide, and we just talked about like who are these 5 people and why is it so important to have them in your life. The first one is your cheerleader, or someone who encourages you and supports you in all of your efforts. Ito yung taong hindi ka talaga i-criticize at all. I know there's that one person that comes to your mind when I say this, and that person would be for me, Chrissy, one of my best friends. Siya yung tipo ng taong hindi ka niya i-judge. Kahit ano pang gusto mong trip mo, sasakyan ka lang niya and she will support you all the way. A friend is someone who knows you well, who you can trust and have fun with. This will have to be one of my best friends, si Hannah or si Faith, who are very close to me. I feel like I can tell them anything and they won't judge me, and they'll also just have fun with me. I trust them. Coach is someone who isn't afraid to tell you the truth or to push you beyond your comfort zone. This could be like literally your coach in your sport, or pwede rin coach in your life, diba? Mga life coaches, ganyan. Idea generator is someone who's always challenging you to perceive things differently, be creative, or try something new. And I think the idea generator always has to be the eclectic person in the group, right? You have to have that one friend who's more creative than you. And this for me will have to be Edong, because he's very creative. He loves music. Ang dami niyang mga ideas sa mundo. Minsan nakakatawa na. Pero I really, really appreciate him for that. And finally, mentor. So someone you can look up to and learn from. My mentors are a lot of people. I have Mama Betchay, I have so many people, my D group, ganyan. So that's what we do. We need those 5 people in our life. So now you can pause this video and think about those 5 people in your life. Write them down. It could be more than 5 people. Syempre, yung friends nyo o kaya yung idea generators nyo. If you're surrounded by creatives, maybe mas marami pa doon. Go on ahead and write them down now. So what you'll find in this journal are actually 7 pillars that I've written, or 7 pillars of adulting is how I've coined them. And these are focus on growth, rest deliberately, form your worldview, be grateful, serve others, have fun, and be purposeful. Now, sa bawat pillar na yon, parang bawat chapter na yon, makakita kayo ng mga different prompts. And prompts are really questions that you can ask yourself to process your emotions or really just start journaling. So we have gratitude prompts, adulting prompts, and questions. 3 things I'm grateful for: productivity check, mental health check, physical health check, and of course, I've left out blank pages for journaling because I'm sure some of you guys would want that as well. So first off, our first prompt is focus on growth. And our question for that is mental health check. Okay, the first prompt that we have is mental health check. So, what are you consuming through books, movies, websites, social media, etc. lately? How have these materials affected your mental health? One of the things that we don't really think about is how all of the things that we get to see or watch online, in the books that we read, on our laptops, all of those things really affect us even subconsciously. So I want you to answer this question and really think about the things that you've been consuming lately and how they've been affecting you. Alright, so after that, we go to pillar number 2. Syempre, I'm not gonna go through all of the prompts here in the journal, but of course, if you want to go through all of it, you have to purchase the journal at www.joycepring.com. But for our second pillar, we have rest deliberately. And for this pillar, our question that I've picked out is our physical health check. Have you been resting deliberately and getting enough sleep? Why or why not? On many books that I've read about mental health and, cognitive neuroscience, your circadian rhythm affects your mood so much. I remember reading this book, 12 Rules for Life by Jordan B. Peterson. He does clinical work with patients, and every time that somebody comes to him with a depression or anxiety problem, he would always ask them, have you been getting enough sleep? And this was also an experience that I've had before when I would get really deep bouts of depression. One of the things that my therapist would ask me is, have you been sleeping? Because if you haven't been sleeping, that's probably one of the reasons why your serotonin is just released throughout your body, which is the stress hormone, why kulang ka talaga sa happy hormones. So I want to know, have you been resting deliberately and sleeping better these days? And if the answer is no, what can you do to make things better? Alright, just a suggestion, by the way, if you answered no to that previous question, some of the things that you can do to start sleeping better is to lessen your social media, or right before you sleep, eat like a couple of hours, last meal mo dapat a couple of hours before you start trying to sleep, and also making sure that your lighting is different, diba? Yung mga binabasa mo is not like action-adventure fictional books before you sleep or something that makes you ponder, but really things that will help you relax even before you start to try to sleep. Okay. Next prompt, we're going to our Be Grateful pillar. And for this one, my question for you is, what are the things that you're grateful for, and who are the people who have helped you get to where you are today? They always say that having an attitude of gratitude changes everything, and that is really true. Apart from being more aware and mindful of the things that you have in your life, you also become more aware of the people who have helped you achieve everything that you have in your life. So it's very important to always remember to be grateful. So I want you to answer that question and start listing specific things down and specific people down. Not just big things like I'm grateful for my house or I'm grateful for health. Ganyan. Start being specific about it. So you could say, I'm grateful that, I haven't had the flu in the past year or so. Something specific that you can look down on and really see how you've been blessed in the past year or maybe even the past week. And finally, for this journal with me, we're gonna end it with something fun, as in literal, the pillar, have fun. And this pillar that I've written down is just a reminder for all of us. Kasi feeling ko, we always talk about productivity and responsibilities and purposefulness when you become an adult. And sometimes we get so caught up in all of that we forget that it's also important to have fun and enjoy yourself. So for our last prompt for this journal with me, my question is, what was the last fun new thing that you tried? Maybe a sport, a dance class, a different skin routine. Write about your experience and what you want to try next time. Did you know that every time you create a new experience, your brain actually creates also new neuron pathways, and that's why you're literally growing physically every time you try something new that excites you. And when you do something that excites you, that gives you satisfaction, oxytocin, that happy hormone, is released into your bloodstream and you become very, very happy. So always remember that it's important to have fun, do something new every chance you get. It might not be something as big as skydiving. It could be even as simple as watching anime and then figuring out that you actually like it, or watching Korean drama. So that's it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this journal with me, with Adulting Journal. I really hope that you get the chance to use this journal as well, not only because I wrote it and created it with my team, but also because I feel like it's so important to start processing our emotions, to start thinking about what are the things that we need to think about now that we're adults, and at the same time that we have to remember to start having fun and also writing down all of our experiences. Kasi you never know, right? You may think that the things that you did was banal or arbitrary, but imagine a couple of years ago when there was no pandemic and you were eating out in a restaurant with your friends or traveling in a different place or country with your loved ones. You thought that that was just arbitrary, that was normal, but now it just feels so surreal, right? So hopefully you get to write those things down and keep your own time capsule with your journal. That's it. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and comment down below what next video you'd like us to create here on JPTV. See ya!